Well, hello and welcome everyone to an unprecedented podcast episode number 19 and 20, and that they are being recorded on the 21st, which is when podcast number 21 is set to be recorded. Now, I imagine for some of you out there, you are actually surprised it may have taken this long for me to stumble. I know for myself, I thought I would have long since failed in this journey, this sojourn of mine. And look, I'm still here, right? And podcasts 19 and 20 were impacted by food poisoning. Went out on a date Monday night, woke up Tuesday morning, and about 8:30 a.m., it was a wrap. I was done. I was done for. So, I could let it stop me. And I could have it be, it's not perfect anymore. Enemy of the state number one, right? And I'm not going to. Why? Because look, I'm just going to record 19 and 20 right now and 21 today as well. And I got a lot of stuff to talk about. So the first thing I want to do is put a disclaimer out there right now for this podcast episode. And this is going to be 19 and 20 all wrapped into one. Why? Because that's what I want to do. Okay. So that being said, and given what I'm going to be talking about, Enemy of the State number 3, I believe now. We are up to Enemy of the State number 3, as well as my seminar that starts tonight. All right. And then on the 21st, quote unquote, the 21st, we'll talk about something else. So hello and welcome officially, everyone, to podcast episode 19 and 20 of Christine's Blessing. So podcast number 19 is going to be about my seminar starting tonight. I told you all a few weeks back, I put myself in this seminar, a fitness seminar, 10 weeks. One of my homegirls out of Denver is leading. And, it's a way to support the people in my life and as well take on for myself, my body, and super apropos given what I just went through these last 48 hours. So my seminar starts tonight. And, it's like when you register for a trip, you buy the ticket, or there's a concert, right? Like last weekend was Frolicon. The minute my wife and I bought our tickets, we were going, right? Pandemic or no pandemic, we were going. And Shaky Knees Music Festival is this weekend. Already got our tickets for that. There's a world that gets created and you get born into when you take on the act of registration. Doesn't always include money, although sometimes it does, right? So I put myself in the seminar, and the moment I did, I've been noticing swirls and conversations going on about my body. And for those of you who have never seen me, some of you may never see me, not really committed that people see me. You can hear my voice. That's what counts for the podcast genre, right? And, but I'm 5'3" and roughly about 120, 125 pounds, depending on what my memory is recollecting. I can't remember the last time I stepped on a scale, to be honest. But it's about right around 120, 125. And so I'm short and petite. And even being a short and petite person, I have my own body image misconstruence, or however you want to call it, things that are outside influences, right? Where, but I'm not as petite as that one, or I actually would like a little bit more oomph over here like that one. There's still the world of comparison there. So I knew, though, that going into this Beyond Fitness seminar, I didn't want to look from there necessarily, like the superficial. I wanted to go deeper, right? Like the constraints that are holding me back from being free to choose to have a baby or not. Right now, what it comes down to is I don't want to mess up my body, right? So since being sick Monday, and now here we are, it's Thursday, and this is the first time in 48 hours I've been able to piece together words and sentences this long. I want you all to know. I was not able to speak for longer than 3. It was hell texting even. All right? It just was. My brain, I'm loopy, right? I had to remember that I was in a dream, which is why I couldn't read. I was trying to read words in a dream. You can't read words when you're dreaming. That part of your brain is asleep. Saw that on a Netflix show. But I digress. So since getting sick on Tuesday morning, from what I ate on Monday night, I had the thought Monday, something's off about this salad. I don't think you should put it in your mouth. I did have that thought. I had that thought. And I said, no. I mean, we are sitting really close to the bar. Maybe it's just something else. And I kept eating it. So maybe, just maybe, this Beyond Fitness seminar that I'm about to start tonight, it literally is beyond fitness. Inside of communicating with my body and listening and getting out of the way all of those other words and conversations and other people's thoughts and opinions that I have adopted as my own, getting those out of the way so I can be free to just hear what my body has to say to me. What does she want? What doesn't she want? So I'm excited to find out tonight for my Beyond Fitness seminar. Which brings me to podcast number 20, Enemy of the State, number 3. Yeah, in sickness and in health, right? So I never thought that being sick would take me out from being able to do a podcast. Although being sick takes you out from being in action in your life. Because when you're being sick, you're not being in action. You're being sick. So it's actually just so great because, Tuesday it was going down. And this is where some explicitity may come in. So if you are someone who is squeamish, I thoroughly invite you to skip the remainder of podcast number 20. Because I am just going to say it like it was. All right? So I will give you until 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goodbye, squeamish people. And hello, those of you with a stronger stomach than most. You've made it through the victory round. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to talk about anything gross. No, I am actually. I really am. So, I knew the minute I was in my car. I also drive for Lyft, everyone. I knew the minute I was in my car and I said to myself, it's okay. Just let your body reabsorb it. You'll get rid of it later. I was in trouble. All right. So for any of us where we've had to go to the bathroom so bad, we have had to go to the bathroom, but we are so close to home. I just would so much rather go in the privacy and comfort of my home, especially considering what it feels like is about to come out of my body, right? And that was me. I was literally like 5 minutes away from my house, right? Up at the top of the Beaver Ruin and Indian Trail, where they crest us. I could have gone left. I could have gone straight, and either way would have got me home just as fast. And I was like, I can't make it. I had to stop at the Quick Trip right there at the corner. And I stopped at the Quick Trip. I did whatever needed to come out of the bottom half of me. And then I knew right then and there I was in trouble. Sweats, all of it. Now, my best friend had just called me the other day. I'm not going to put their name out there because, it's their business. But they just called me the other day talking about they were sick and this is what they were experiencing. And I was like, that sounds like food poisoning. You should check and see what you eat in the last 24 hours. And then they said whatever they said. So you can imagine, much to my chagrin, that here I am, not even 24 hours late, not even, it was probably like 10 hours. She said that to me at 8:30 Monday night. And here I am, 8:30 Tuesday morning in the exact same experience, right? And that was the only stuff that came out from the bottom. Everything else came out from the top, right? So literally, right, inside Enemy of the State number 3, as I'm heaving myself up into my porcelain goddess I call a toilet, all right, it's almost like, it almost was like, there went my dreams and aspirations as well of my 365-day game podcast, right? 365 podcasts, 365 days. There it went as it went into and I just got weaker and weaker and farther away from sanity and from being coherent. But because I'd already discovered Enemy of the State number 1 and Enemy of the State number 2, I was ready for Enemy of the State number 3. So this is my first ever dual podcast, right? 2 podcast episodes in one, swell, whatever, right? There'll be music interludes in between each of them if you're listening on Spotify, so enjoy that. I may do one of those little intermission dingy bellies that I can do inside of the Anchor podcast, right? And if you've noticed, my voice has started to peter off a little bit. I am starting to get tired. I'm not going to lie. I am starting to get very tired. And I have a client in 45 minutes that I have to talk to for 90 minutes. So, being worn out after 10 minutes and 24 seconds, I'm going to go. And thank you for those of you who stuck all the way through podcast 19 and 20. For those of you who only made it to podcast 19 and you came back around because you were maybe questioning if you could handle it or not, thank you for coming back around. But until then, until next time, well, until later today, for podcast episode number 21, this is .com. And thank you for being with Christine's Blessing.